Hi, good morning. It's snowing here in the North Country, and so I am not able to go out and garden. And I had promised some of you a video on the legs and hips. Several people have called saying they overdone it in the garden or are having some issues with the hips and the movement of the upper legs. So that was the next video I was going to record. So here we are. And so let's get started. Okay, so you have your roller, and it doesn't really matter what kind of roller you have. I'm just using this old roller that we have at home. But I think that the first area that I'd like to help in opening up is the hamstring attachment. And the hamstrings attach right here at your sitting bones. And if you position yourself on the roller so that your sitting bones are just behind the roller, and you can, rock back and forth just so you get a feel for that bone. And if it's too much to stretch your legs straight like this, or to extend your feet upward, you can do one leg at a time. So just bend this other leg, put it over, however works for you. And then get right on that attachment and just let your body sink in. You want to let your upper body lift, keep your shoulders dropped, and feel the pressure right in here. And you can rotate your leg and foot out. You can rotate your leg and foot in. And notice if one of those motions is easier. And then you can flex your foot and point your foot. And notice what happens in that area. What are you feeling? Okay. All right, so if you're doing one leg at a time, let's do the other leg. I sometimes put my hands on the roller just so it doesn't get away from me, okay? So rock back and forth, find that place right in front of the sitting bone. And rotate the leg out. Rotate the leg and foot in. Keep a sense of lift in your body. I mean, you're going to have a little curve because you're trying not to fall backwards, but have some lift in your upper body. So rotating, and then flexing and pointing the foot. And you may feel like one of these areas is tighter than the other. So just pay attention to what you're feeling. I think we feel often that we have to beat the body into submission. And these videos are meant to help you get a sense of what's going on in your body and to allow the body to change rather than forcing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just start moving down the roller. And again, I'm going to grab a pillow here to show you. If you need to put your hands on a pillow and then roll the roller down. Okay, so as you do this, when you find a place, you can again lift your feet, you can point, you can flex, you can roll in or out with the legs. And I am using my arms for support, so this becomes a little bit of a workout. And you can just keep rolling right down those hamstrings until you get to just behind the knee. And often the attachment points of muscle groups are places that have restrictions. Okay, so that gives you some information on how to work with the hamstrings. You can spend, you know, a little longer, but I just want to show you these things. All right, so then we're going to do a little work on the quads. So you want to start, have your pubic bone right up against the roller. Get your elbows down. You're going to want to lean one way and roll right up to your hip bone. So your hip bone is here. So on my left side, I am now have the roller placed right up against my hip bone. So this gets your hip flexor. And again, once you find that place, just sink in. We're just doing the left side right now. And let your body sink in. And then I'm going to turn and I'm going to show you, we're just going to sink in to the hip flexor. And you can let your knees rest. And when you're sinking in, just imagine that the body is widening, softening, whatever adjective you feel will help. Okay, so then come back to the center and just walk your arms up, and you'll notice that now I'm really addressing the bulk of my quads, both sides at once. And when I find a place that's tender, I just sink in and take a few deep breaths. And as you get closer to the knee, which is another attachment point, you're going to feel maybe some more tenderness than you felt in other areas. So for me, it's my left quad is a little more tender, and I'm right above the knee now. And just take some deep breaths. Have a little contact with the floor with your toes for stability, and just take some deep breaths and let your body open. Okay. So then walk yourself back down and come off the roller like that. And then we'll go right on to the IT band. And so the IT band starts just above the head of the femur. So let me just show you a little anatomy here. The head of the femur is actually deep in here. And it comes out to an angle here where the femur then drops down to the knee. So you'll feel, if you palpate, there's a bony prominence here. Where my thumbs are, this is my hip bone. But this is where the femur turns to come in and make the ball and socket with the hip. So what we want to do in this exercise is we don't want to put pressure right on the bony area here. We want to be a little above it. That muscle is called the tensor fasciae lata. And that is the muscle which attaches to the IT band, which runs all the way to your knee, okay? So we're gonna start a little above this bony protuberance and just sink into here. Then we're gonna go below the bony protuberance, and we're gonna work our way slowly down the IT band, okay? All right, so you can notice my feet. I usually keep one leg up. It can be in front of the leg or in back of the leg that I have on the roller. I have this arm for stability. So here I am above that bony protuberance, and I'm below the hip bone. And I'm just sinking in. Okay, and then I take the pressure off and I come to just below the bony protuberance. And I switch my supporting leg and I just allow my body to sink in. And if it's not tender in one area, just keep moving down. This can be very tender. So I use this hand to move the roller, and I use the supporting arm to keep pressure. I lift with this foot and this hand, because sometimes putting your whole body weight into this area is not comfortable. Okay? So we're just going to work our way, and this is really tender on me. I've been working really hard in the garden, bending and picking things up, so I've gotten a good workout on my IT bands. So just work your way down, and as you get closer to the knee, it will be more tender, and you just want to give a little pressure into that tender area. Okay. All right, let me show you the other side. I'm gonna keep myself facing the camera here. All right, so remember, we're getting above the protuberance first, and just holding the roller, using this hand for stability. Breathing in. Okay. Now move the roller below and gently work your way down. So as I work my way down, right about here, it becomes really tender. So I'm just gonna take a few deep breaths, try to let my tissue lengthen. I'm gonna move down a little. And by far, this is probably one of the most uncomfortable roller exercises. The IT bands tend to get very tight on everyone. So just allow, if it's too much, move on. You do not have to do this all at once. A little bit of pressure. So I want to point out that the fascia for your IT band, I'm going to come a little closer here, starts in the glutes and comes all the way down this way. So the next thing we're going to do is just give a little attention to the glutes, okay? So you can sit on the roller, first finding both sitting bones, get balanced, and then turning toward, we'll start with the right. So you're just rotating around, and then you'll feel the edge of the hip bone, the big wing bone. And you just want to sink right into that. And again, I usually hold on to the roller. I use one foot for stability. And I might even go this way. And then I come around. Let's switch sides. So then turn toward this side. And as I did that, you know, a little adjustment in my lower back, you might hear a little pop. Might feel a stretch through these side muscles. So that's going to bring us to the next phase, which is, let's give a little attention to the quadratus lumborum, which is in this space between your ribs and your hips. And for this one, you're going to want to let your body roll back a little. And you're just going to take some deep breaths. And then I'm going to turn. You'll be able to see from the back now. I'm just going to rotate a little bit toward the back. Get right in the space between the ribs and the hip bone. Just breathe into that. Okay, and then just to finish up, I'm going to show you how to get here on the camera. Okay, so then we're just going to give a little bit of, we're going to rest our sacrum, hold the roller, rest your sacrum on the roller. Reach your legs up for the sky. And just let your sacrum open up. And then you can just see how the mobility of your hips feel right now. After we've done that loosening, you can make little circles going inward. You can make little circles going outward. You can scissor gently. You can bend your knees. And all the while, keep breathing. Okay, and then to come off the roller, you can just push it out. And stretch your body out. Give a nice stretch. Reach with your right foot and your left arm. Reach with your left foot and your right arm. Reach with both arms and both legs. Just stretch out. And then to come to sitting, roll to your side and sit up. Okay, here we go. Thanks for watching.